入嚟啦！
你好，你做緊乜嘢啊？
我學緊中文字，
好玩啊！學中文字難唔難啊？
好難啊！寫中文字要好多功夫。
哎呀！
Reading and writing in another language is not easy to do. Believe us, we know. In case you haven't met us before, I'm Professor James Morton.
And I'm Professor Stuart McManus.
We teach classes in world history here at the Chinese University. I mostly specialize in the history of medieval Europe, Russia, and the Middle East, while Professor McManus teaches classes in the history of the early modern world. We both also sometimes teach classes in ancient Greek and Roman history. Obviously, we do our teaching in English.
As you can probably tell, neither of us is fluent in either Cantonese or Putonghua. In fact, we're both pretty rubbish.
Although we are trying to learn. We're both taking classes in Cantonese, while Professor McManus is also learning Putonghua. One of the great things about this for us is that it reminds us of what it's like to be in your position as you have to learn in a language that is not your own. Not only do we learn the difference between Chinese and English, but it also helps us to sympathize with you and with your experience.
English is obviously a very different language from both Cantonese and Putonghua. It is a mixture of Germanic and also French elements, with vocabulary borrowed from Latin, French, Arabic, and other languages.
That's right. This makes it a very challenging language for non-native speakers to learn. Things become even more complicated when we introduce the subject of academic English. Not only do you have to finish lots and lots of pages of assigned reading every week, at least if you take one of my classes, but the vocabulary and sentence structure can be quite technical and difficult to follow.
Students come to CUHK with a variety of backgrounds in English, and therefore have a variety of abilities and levels of confidence. You might feel like you need to look up a lot of words in the dictionary, or to check your work again and again.
If this is how you feel when taking an English language course, don't worry. There are many other students who feel exactly the same way as you. The good news is that you can and will get better with practice. We've created this series of 3 micro-modules to help you discover how to improve your skills in academic English, and we've designed them with your needs in mind. The 3 micro-modules will focus on English style and grammar, writing skills, and how to plan and produce a research paper.
In addition to the handbooks and the electronic resources, each micro-module will include 3 short videos to help you with your learning.
This first video of the first micro-module will introduce you to the idea and concepts of academic English and give you useful general advice on practical ways to improve your language skills. We hope that you will see that English is not something to be afraid of, but something that you all have the ability to master. Make no mistake, mastering a foreign language takes a lot of work. Nonetheless, there is a simple, basic rule for improving your language skills. In fact, I would say that it is the most important rule of all. Practice makes perfect. If you think back to how you learned your first language, you probably didn't have to take classes or go to a language school. You picked it up from experience. You were immersed in the language and heard people speaking it all around you. Now, you probably did have to take classes to learn how to read and write proficiently, but even then, you will have perfected your skills through practice. Things are obviously more complicated when you learn a second language, but the importance of practice still holds true. Of course, there are good ways and bad ways to practice your English language abilities. Think of going to the gym. If you go in and try to lift a heavy weight on your first day, you'll get tired fast. You'll probably decide that it is too hard and give up. But if you take a smaller weight and then practice in shorter, more regular sessions, you'll gradually build up your muscles over time. You will get stronger and stronger until you can eventually lift that heavy weight that was so difficult for you on your first day. In this metaphor, the heavy weight represents the reading that I assign you every week, while your muscles represent your English language reading abilities. Instead of weight training, you'll train your reading, writing, and speaking. Now, you might not always get the chance to train your writing and speaking, but the one thing you can practice on a regular basis is to read. The best thing for you to do to improve your English every day is to read something in good English. I don't mean that you should read an academic article or book chapter every day. That would be the equivalent of the heavy weight in the gym. But it should be something intelligent and well written that you can read for 10 to 20 minutes every day, and I do mean every day. Fortunately, if you have access to the internet, this should not be a problem for you. You may have some ideas of things to read already, but in case they're helpful, here are some suggestions for you. Newspapers are an excellent way for you to practice your English, and you can read many of them for free online. By their very nature, they're made up of short to medium-length articles that cover self-contained stories. They're aimed at an intelligent audience, but they also have to be clear and informative, since their readers may not be familiar with the stories. It is very easy to find a newspaper that you like in English, though be careful to choose a high-quality one. It is better to avoid tabloid newspapers like the Daily Mail or the New York Post, since these tend to be sensationalist and aimed at less intelligent readers than you. Personally, I like The Guardian, a newspaper from the UK that covers a lot of important global stories in an intelligent way. Moreover, it is completely free to read. There are lots of other good publications besides newspapers, of course. If you would like to read short articles exploring interesting topics that aren't necessarily news-related, there are a lot of good online journals and blogs covering a range of topics that may interest you. For example, The Conversation is a website that has articles on a wide range of subjects written by experts for a general audience. Alternatively, you can go to websites like Politico, Vox, Ars Technica, Mashable, and others for articles on topics like politics, technology, entertainment, and culture. We've provided links to some of these in the Micromodule Handbook. Of course, you should find something that you will enjoy reading on a daily basis for 10 to 20 minutes or so. With regular reading practice like this, you'll find yourself improving gradually over time without even realizing it.